Welcome viewers, and just got here in the nick of time.
Yes, that's
I've put my own flowers down. Plenty of press here, not like the Elm Guest House where I was the only one. We're here outside the Houses of Parliament. Made it on the stroke of 11. Sorry, train delays. I was planning to be here about half an hour ago, but made it anyway. Lots of white flowers. Hello!
Hello, how are you, Martin?
Okay.
Thank you for coming. I
Right.
appreciate the time.
I've got some papers for you.
Ah, excellent. Thank you. I didn't realise we were going to be so far down from Churchill's statue. So
Yeah, that's probably a sore area at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And what we got there?
There we go.
Thank you very much. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
This is Joe Public. Welcome viewers. Please spread the word. We have the flower laying vigil between 11 and 12, and then from half 12 onwards, for those people that have got tickets, there is a meeting actually inside the House of Commons. It's about time that all the shilly-shallying and the cover-ups and the protecting of the powerful ends. No amount of money, no amount of influence, no matter how well you're connected, does not give you the right to rape and torture and murder children. This should be an absolute. This should be an absolute that the people of this planet insist on.
I don't think there's a big queue at the moment.
No, I just wait for the car.
Hello!
Hello.
Hi!
Back again.
Yes, back again.
How are you?
Hopefully they'll crack at some point.
Have you got your wristband? That's the main thing.
Oh, I'd like a wristband. Thank you.
Their contribution to the cause, we call it.
Okay. United Against Child Abuse. Can someone put that hashtag on the broadcast, please? United Against Child Abuse. Welcome viewers, you join us outside Parliament. There's the British Houses of Parliament. We have had this situation going on for decades, not just in the UK, but it has come to light worldwide too. Belgium, the Netherlands, France, Germany, America, Portugal. They all have cases of the powerful abusing their power to abuse children. This has got to stop. There's no debate about it, it has got to stop.
I tend to move around the country, I'm very transient. I had a house way back.
Oh, it's Bill Maloney.
I believe that John was over there, across the road, when I doorstepped Nick Clegg.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
Yes, you did, John. And can I just repeat that question? I asked Nick Clegg also 5 years ago at the last election. I was ejected by David Dimbleby from Question Time. On that panel was Michael Stone, Chakrabarty, and a couple of others that I can't actually remember. Now, the reason I got thrown out was because I asked, and the question I wanted to ask, which was refused, what are you going to do about institutional paedophile rings that are operating in this country now? Then I got Nick Clegg. I got Nick Clegg 5 years ago up on Blackheath Common, asking the same question. Nick Clegg said to me, I don't know what you mean by institutional paedophile rings 5 years ago, even though he worked in the offices, the private offices of Leon Bretton.
I don't know what he knows.
Right, but John, the thing is, what I would like to, what I would just
You'll
like
talk to me later when everyone's finished. I'm going to be around. I've got to go back and
Try and get a bit nearer, hold on. Excuse me, please.
This is really making history today. This is a really important day for survivors and whistleblowers coming together from all over the country. And I think it's unprecedented. And we've got wonderful support from our MPs here, and some people have come from Jersey and all over and presented a lot of...
Get arrested for that.
Start again.
Yes, please start again.
Start again. Is that better? No, you've got to push a button. No, you've got to press the button. That's it. Push the button on your side when you talk. I'll keep my hand on it. Okay, I'll start again. This is an unprecedented day where we're gathering together with survivors and whistleblowers from all over the country, even coming over from Jersey. There are families of some of the children that we placed here today who've been murdered within the context of organised crime. And that's very specifically what we're here about today, is children who've been assaulted, sexually harmed, murdered, obviously all in the context of very major paedophile networks that go right to the top of this society. We are looking at the establishment involvement in covering up many of these issues over very many years, going right back to the 40s. So that is what we want: justice for survivors and healing for survivors. And we want especially to protect children now, current children. It's only by survivors coming forward with evidence and information and going to the police and working closely with the police that we're bringing some of these perpetrators to justice who've been around for many, many years. So this is indeed a very important day. We are certainly making history. It's John Mann.
And it's just John Mann now.
Well said.
You will hear. The MPs that are here today, and there are a number, our role, we'll have something to say, but our role is to support those who've spoken out, those who are campaigning, and so this isn't our meeting, but we've booked the rooms because I think there's an appropriateness and a poignancy that the meetings take place in Parliament. So we are here to support you, to encourage you to speak with one voice, so that we can see truth come out and we can see action. And in the discussions in preparing it, we did all think it was appropriate that we should give a small part of the day to think and remember those who can't be with us. And that is the point of this small, somewhat silent and appropriately silent ceremony. So I'd like to thank everyone who's come. I think we'll have a successful day defined as getting organised so that the truth comes out and so that there is real and effective action. So thank you all very much for coming.
I'm very pleased to see Stuart Sivray here from Jersey. Now, I think people need to understand what happened in Jersey. He was Minister for Health, and he blew the whistle on the murder and abuse of children, so they fired him. They then suspended the Chief of Police and encouraged the investigating officer to retire. A journalist, Leah McGrath Goodman, was actually banned from the UK to prevent her investigating child abuse and murder in Jersey. And all that's happened very, very recently. All the records for that are still around. Now, there's a lot more that can be said. I believe that Stuart is speaking later on. But we should recognise the effort that has gone into covering up the maltreatment of very vulnerable people, the murder of people, and that's just not acceptable. So thank you for coming on, and people need to speak out.
Hear, hear.
Good here.
My name's Simon Danchuk. I'm Rochdale's Member of Parliament. And let me say how pleased I am that everybody's come together here today. Can I thank you for coming together like this? I think more of this sort of action that we take over the next 12 months is really important. Over the last 12 months, I do believe we've had some real successes which we should celebrate. All the political parties now accept that mandatory reporting of child abuse is something that should be legislated for. We now have to get that turned into action, into legislation. We've also been successful over the last 12 months in terms of convincing the Home Secretary, Theresa May, to instigate this overarching inquiry into child abuse. Again, another success, but it still requires more action. But what we need more than anything else, in my opinion, is successful prosecutions of the people the abuse. So let's work together over the next 12 months, starting today at this meeting, starting today from here, to make sure that we get mandatory reporting, that we get a successful inquiry, but also that we get prosecutions of those people who've raped and abused children. Thank you very much indeed.
Yes!
Shouldn't escape any longer.
You've been a champion.
My name's Bill Maloney. I'm a victim of institutional paedophile rings. My whole family, my 7 siblings, my mother, my father were abused by the people over there. I do not trust any of them. Any of them. We do not trust Theresa May.
No.
Slosh,
No.
excuse me, Slosh, we'll give them that mistake, but not Wolf, not two. I believe there is still a cover-up going on now. That's what I believe now. Bill Maloney, that's what I believe. It is still going on. It will continue to go on, and we cannot trust them. Ever. Ever. We're talking about children being killed. Leon Britton is complicit in this. Never mind, thank you. Leon Britton is complicit in this. David Cameron knows about this and has known about it for a long time. I asked Nick Clegg 5 years ago, what are you going to do about institutional paedophile rings that are operating in this country now? He said to me, I don't understand what you mean by institutional paedophile rings. Well, he does now. A few months ago, I asked him the same question across the road on budget day. What are you going to do about institutional paedophile rings operating in this country now? He walked away. He said, I'm here to talk about taxes. 5 years ago, the film company that I work with, we made a film called Adam Rickwood and the Medhamsley Heroes. When we made that film, we had 12 victims come forward from Medhamsley. Now we have 1,150 from Medhamsley. God bless all victims and survivors.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Esther. And I just wanted to say, I was abused over a long period of time, and it was covered up. I lost a lot. I've lost sisters, I've lost brothers. But I just want to say to you all, we've got to start listening, because these young people out there who are not being heard, the damage it causes to our generation, that we've got to be united and be able to listen to these people and help them. Because at the end of the day, I was wrongly diagnosed with many years of schizophrenia because they wouldn't listen to me. You know, I'm living, I was institutionalised because I wasn't heard. I'm living, but it's taken a long, long time.
Can I just tell you how brave this lady
is? You know, we've got to stand up and be counted and not cover up this. We're not there. One thing I will say, let's not blame anymore. Let's have action. Let's change.
Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sarah Champion. I'm the MP for Rotherham. And there's actually only one thing that I want to say, and that is that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm sorry that you weren't heard, and I'm really, really sorry that the perpetrators are still out there. And I can guarantee to you that my colleagues, and I want the colleagues over there, are listening to you now, and if they're not, then my colleagues here are, and we will make a difference for you. On that note, I'd like to have 1 minute's silence, please, for those that are here and those that are not. Now can I say that you've been silent for too long, and today we're going to hear your voices. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Too much cover up, too much silence, too much disbelief. That the rich and powerful get away with this for far, far, far too long.
Nobody knows that, just asking everybody.
Right, Brenda?
Some of the tributes.
Hello, darling. You got your wristband?
Yeah, I've got something.
Oh, you're a darling.
Mark Tilsley, murdered 1984. Tony McGrain, murdered in Islington. Nicola Fellows and Karen Hadaway. Severely assaulted and murdered in Brighton in 1986. Alan Graham, age 11, kidnapped and murdered. Unsolved crime that. Lee Boxwell, missing in 1998 from Cheam. Jason Swift, murdered 1985, age 14, in Islington. Sandy Davison, age 4, missing from Irvine in Ayrshire in 1976. Daniel Hadley, abducted and murdered, age 9 years in 1985 from Beckton. Barry Lewis, age 6 years, murdered 1985, South London. And many more.
We want to see units.
Plenty of press here, I see, which is good. This has got to get out. This must be the main election issue. Every candidate on the doorstep must be pressed about this, must be pressed about why these paedophiles have not been banged up for life already. Why are they still allowed to occupy their positions of power and privilege? This is something that the human race must not tolerate any further.
They need to be taken out, they need to be suspended, they need to be arrested, sit in a cell for 9 hours, be interviewed at length for 6 hours, and then bailed or remanded, depending on the gravity of the situation. That's what happens to the members of the public. That's what's supposed to happen to members of Parliament. There is not one law for them and one law for us. There is one law for them. Well, that's what we're trying to address, and this is why we're saying the Official Secrets Act should have no place in saying, oh, I can't speak up on child murder and child rape and child torture because of this.
Yes. How can the rape of a child be a matter of national security? It's absolutely outrageous and ridiculous.
How are you, man? Yeah, you want one? Thank you, bro. I'm having enough trouble. Yeah, it's absolutely right. There should be one law for everybody. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, the moment you're suspected of a crime or you're arrested to be investigating a crime, you're suspended from your duties. You shouldn't be in there making policies, not for this country.
They certainly shouldn't be re-elected next May. If we don't get this sorted out before next May, you could be voting for a child rapist and child murderer when you vote in the elections.
I'm not a political minded person. I'm never voting because there's nothing worth voting for. But if I were to vote this year, it'd be Green. I'm sorry. After seeing people like Natalie Bennett and Caroline Lucas like in the front lines with the people, it's got to be Green all the way.
Right. I'm just going to take a short break to get my battery pack connected because I arrived here right on the stroke of 11, so I didn't have a chance to set up at all properly. So I will be straight back in about 2 minutes. So please let people know what's going on. Please spread the word. I'll be straight back. Welcome back outside Parliament. You follow the previous broadcast. We've just had laying of a large number of flowers on College Green. Here's Joe Public.
it's a much more high these guys, they become depraved and then it moves on. So the question is, if Ken Clark had David Cameron bag for him at Eton, does that relationship continue after college? After the college?
2 hours every day on it for the last 7 years.
Well, I'm dressed as a policeman. Yes. I'm not impersonating a police officer. I do. That's right. I'm trying to expose the glaring juxtaposition of the whole. Originally London, but I'm from many parts of the country. No, I walked with Ben Fellows last year from Plymouth to London, and I've been actively involved in anti-child abuse campaigning. What's your name? My name's Joe Public. That is my real name. It was changed about 3 months ago by Depot, and that is the name I'm now known by. Henceforth, I'm not allowed to use my old name, so Joe it is. That's all you get. Thank you very much.
It's got about 300 emails every day.
Yes.
As well as I work nights as well, so it's, yeah, I've got a proper job as well.
Lots of interviews going on. Lots of media coverage, which is a complete difference to the first of these I covered at the site of the Elm Guest House, where I was the only one. There was absolutely no media interest whatsoever in child abuse, and that was only about 6 months ago. It was just in the summer. So it looks like things are changing, and it's about time that they did.
Oh yeah, no, that's enough. I'm happy to wait for them people want to see.
Yes, white balloons being tied to the lampposts. When the Belgians came out against their paedophiles in the 1990s, there were about 360,000 of them marched with white balloons. And Belgium is a tiny country. We need tens of millions to be marching on the streets of the UK if nothing is done about the criminals that skulk in there. Because if we get the clean-up of these psychopaths, these murderous psychopaths, just imagine what other lunacies of policy and cruelty that they are allowing to happen. Like, we can then get log jams cleared and all sorts of other things.
this.
I was at the first one, that was the Elm Guest House one.
Yes, because I saw it on. On the computer?
Yes.
Sort of become aware of this problem.
Yes, well, it's a lot more people are now. It's been silent for years.
Are you directly affected by it?
No. Well, I know people like Brian Clare, who was raped by Leon Britton. It's just shocking that these people have been allowed to get away with it so long because they're beyond reproach, or they think they are.
Yeah, making laws for the rest of the
Oh yes. Yes.
It's amazing and spread the world. I mean, I just became aware of it a few years ago as well.
Yeah, I've got engaged once.
Yes. Sorry, we lost the connection there, so we're back. You join us outside Parliament. It's a cold, bright morning here in London, and hopefully the start of a turning point where these children are no longer ignored. Media is here in force. It's absolutely vital that we make an end to the monsters that lurk in there being a main election issue. How can we vote? Or if you're voting, have you consider that you're voting for someone that condones the rape and murder of children, or condones covering up for those who rape and murder children just because of their high position? How can people like that be fit to run the country? How can they be fit to do anything apart from sit in a prison cell?
We'll all be there with you.
Bill. Hi, Bill.
Are you after him?
No, well, some words for Occupy News Network.
So where'd you come down from? Linda.
This is going to go on till about 12, and then people have to get into Parliament for the meeting. I think some people will be staying out here as a vigil. They haven't got the tickets for the meeting. I'm going into the meeting. And I'll be reporting later about what was said, because unfortunately you can't do broadcasting within the House of the Commons.
Where's my website?
Yes, yeah, that's I get the last one. No, I hadn't even heard of WhiteFlowers until I realised this meeting was going on. And as I say, I didn't know the meeting was going on last week either. I did, I've got a ticket today, but I don't think that the local bobbies on the door will let me in looking like this. I have a feeling they may object.
Impersonating an officer.
No, well, they're impersonating officers. I know. They're impersonating police officers. Police officer, an honest law-abiding police officer, would have arrested the 24th suspected MP. Huh? We could swap hats. I reckon I'll get in wearing your hat, but there's no chance of you getting in wearing mine. I'll give it a try. No.
I'm Jewish, I have to wear.
Oh, I see.
So well, yours.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's like your hat, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
I could have a Palestinian flag to go with it.
I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that they will turn, or they will keep me at the gate and say no. But again, I'm quite happy to give my ticket it to anyone who doesn't have one that finds their need, that they should be in there.
Might be appreciated in the meeting.
Well, I think there are a lot better people out there that can speak on this subject than me. I would speak on it if no one else could, but I'm happy that I'm stood in the shadow of so many great anti-child abuse campaigners today. You know, people like Bill and Simon, John.
Oh yeah,
you know, yeah, exactly. I know Chris Fay's here somewhere as well. He's a whistleblower. He's one of the first original guys to bring this up.
Yes, that's me. I was a whistleblower.
Yeah. You were the whistleblower.
I was a whistleblower.
Yeah.
The thing is, when somebody blows a whistle, it's usually a child who blows the whistle.
Well, that's right.
There's very social work who passes it on.
Yeah.
Somebody else does it. Somebody comes to me. So I'm supposed to be the person who can do something about it. And so you build a whistle. So I pass on the whistle. I'm not the primary whistle. And 3 times I passed it on.
Oh, shake your hand for that, sir. You know that us whistleblowers always end up getting it really in the neck.
That's the Jersey story.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
And I think that's a big part of what this inquiry needs to do.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. They'll get silenced. We'll look at Ben Fellows. You know, what's he locked up over Christmas and New Year? Yeah. Oh, the Jersey story's horrific. I mean, Bill's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jersey's a law unto itself.
Like the Isle of Man.
Yeah, and everyone knows that's the beauty of it. There is no secrecy surrounding this anymore. Yeah. What we want now is action.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. We
got
need
to have action.
See arrests. Yeah. If we don't see arrests, if it's a member of the public who's accused of a historical serious sex crime, he's arrested immediately. He is sat in a police cell after being strip searched with no belt and no shoelaces for 9 hours. Then after 9 hours, they interview him for a good 6 hours without interview.
This is not... What I was hearing is, don't mention it unless you've got proof.
No, it's the job of the police officers to investigate. That is their job to arrest and then prompt effective investigation. It's that order. It's not another order. And it's the same for people. It's the same. It's the same for members of the public as it is for members of Parliament. Although that's not, it doesn't look that way at the moment. It is, and so you know the failing is at the high levels of policing structure where they are not going in and going, you're under arrest, sir, you need to come with us.
I've seen examples where police do this need to get on with the start the process and then the phone call on high.
Oh yeah, that's which is why we say, you know, the officials.
Yeah, we need to get the police to act on their superiors who tell them to stop investigation. That should immediately make that superior be included in the investigation.
Absolutely.
And then just they dob their superior into, oh, my superior told me to do this, and then we chase the chain right up to the people that need to be in jails.
Yeah. Who closed down the inquiry? Who shut down the investigation?
We need to know this. We need to know who was responsible for every shutdown of every inquiry, and they need to pay the price for that now.
Yeah. How many police officers are being blackmailed to stop these investigations? How many police officers have something on them that Special Branch, MFI, all have the information?
You've come across.
Huh? Well, of course, yeah, there are. There is a guy that I was hoping was going to be here today called Brian Clare. He's another child abuse survivor.
Yes.
But he's claiming that the police have their own independent paedophile network within the Metropolitan Police Force. Like, not an investigation, an actual ring, a network. Now, whether that can be substantiated or not, I don't know. Historical, yeah, historical and current. I mean, it's not something that's gone away. Just because it's not in the news today. In 30 years' time, you'll see that it's going on now. You know, the Dolphin Squares and the Elm Groves are still out there. They're just different places. And this is carrying on. These people, these creatures inside Parliament, because they're not humans, they're subhuman, they're creatures. These creatures inside Parliament are systematically raping, torturing and murdering children, and they're not even being arrested. Even though dossiers are being handed over saying, here are the names, here's the evidence so far, go and arrest them. But they don't get arrested, yet a member of the public is arrested immediately to allow for a prompt and effective investigation. Well, I don't see anything prompt about what's happening here. That dossier has been in the hands of Parliament and the police since before Christmas, and yet not one single arrest of 24 24 suspected MPs. There's something very, very wrong with that. Well, it can't.
I hope there's copies.
This time round there are copies everywhere. It can't go this way. However, having said that, you know, it is up to us to find out who's been nobbled at the higher ranks of policing and the higher ranks of the CEOs. It's very
Hello.
Nice to see you again. Did you catch all their speeches?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done,
What's the plan? When do we have to start queuing to get in? Oh, going in now, right? Yes, I've got a ticket. Yes. Right. I'm going to have to end this broadcast. I will be on later.
Might as well give it a go.
Right. Welcome back. Just had a very interesting meeting, actually inside the House of Commons, not in the chamber, but in the largest committee room. Welcome back. That's a bit of a problem with the signal keep dropping.
This is all about paedophiles.
I know, I've just been in the meeting. It's been very, very lively and very interesting.
Sure it has, because,
yes.
And we want to get them all in prison as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. Stop.
These are all the flowers. One of the important things that came out of the meeting, which had several MPs, former heads of councils, and many victims speaking. I couldn't record inside the meeting. Firstly, the rules of the house itself. People can't record inside the Houses of Parliament. No photography even. They're worried about security, I suppose. And also so that victims were able to speak freely. There wasn't any sound or video recording allowed, actually, in the meeting either. So.
Hello. How you doing, mate? You alright?
Okay.
I've been down since 6 this morning. I saw you interrupt you there.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, I've been keeping quiet.
Right.
Well, let me get on, mate.
Okay. Right, one of the interesting things that came out of the inquiry that particularly stuck in my mind was the role of insurance companies in badgering councils and other organisations to not admit liability, to drag their heels over any inquiry because of the possible liability and the financial loss. This is an area that we absolutely need to have a full investigation. The fact that these companies wanted to impede people's access to justice just because they were afraid of financial loss. This is absolutely outrageous. So this is another new level of the scandal that has just been made clear today. We have to have a full disclosure about the role of insurance companies in facilitating the cover-ups, so that this did not get to light. This didn't come to light decades ago like it should have done. Right, I shall reclaim my tripod. Hold on a minute. I will be back imminently.
just checking it's not.
No, it's not. It's not mine. No.
I've been looking after it, thinking you left it. With
No. Right.
It's probably a bomb.
It's a bit far from there.
Place to pick it up now. They wanted to take down all the activists in this.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. Can you join us outside the vigil?
Some of it was quite upsetting actually, but it's alright. There was one guy who was extremely agitated.
That would have been Bill.
That would be Bill.
Yeah. But that's good because Bill is a bulldog for stuff like this. You know, Bill, he can be a bit brash and a bit aggressive, but it needs aggression and it needs brashness. You know, I've said it
definitely
before.
got hurt though.
Huh? Oh, I should fucking hope so this time. So we shouldn't have to come back. But if we do, it should be 10,000 people round this building, sustained all week fucking long.
This is what they're saying. Yeah. Come back in the thousands.
Yes.
Well, that's what it needs. It needs like the Russian, the Icelandic revolution, where they have a belt, you surround the bloody place, shut it down. Either the police pull them out, or we do.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, it's outrageous that this has been allowed to continue so long.
And when they don't do it...
One of the things said was that many people seek political power for the sole purpose of being in a position where they can abuse children, because that's what they wanted all along.
Absolutely. Abuse children and abuse the privilege, abuse their expenses.
Yeah.
The whole system is built on abuse.
Yeah.
The political scene now, the whole lot needs pulling out. The Parliament itself needs cleansing. Like they cleansed St Paul's after Occupy. They had to shut it all down to cleanse it because the scruffy masses were there.
Yeah.
Well, the worst scruff masses are in there now.
Yeah.
If you took out all the dodgy paedophiles and their apologists, you wouldn't have enough in there to make a football team.
Yeah, there are a few. Because cross-party support, there are a few MPs that are on the side of the survivors.
Well,
that want to see the end of this.
It's either that, or they get lumped into the pigeonhole that calls them apologists.
Yeah.
You know, the main pedo apologist, Cameron.
Yep.
Like, he's the one. Like, and he's such shamelessly apologising for it. Oh, we're not going to have a witch hunt into gays. Nothing to do with homosexuality. It's to do with rape and murder and torture of children.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the sentiments is we really shouldn't be calling it abuse because abuse is far too mild a word for it. It is the rape and torture and murder of children. Yep, that's what it is. These are very, very grave and serious crimes, and people have been allowed to get away with them for decades. And this is a situation that we will not tolerate. Sorry, I just kicked my own tripod, sorry.
What we need is the masses.
Yeah, people have got to...
the public to be angry. Here comes the paedophile protection squad.
Major situation unit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, is there a major situation unit?
They all shot off down to Waterloo,
does anyone know anything about the eviction of the soup kitchen in Trafalgar Square? Has that happened?
Soup kitchen at Trafalgar Square?
Yes.
It was still there the last I heard.
Right.
I don't know if the love activists are still there.
Right.
I know they're having trouble shifting them about because it's like smoke.
Yes.
Put down somewhere, they come up somewhere else. Good on the love activists.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah, I'll try and if they're still there, I'll do a bit of broadcasting for them on my way home.
I hope so.
Yeah, but what is the point? Embarrass them into it. Just be nice to them. One little word might sink in and make them think. It's slowly catching up.
We've had some interaction with the public while we came past. We haven't even bothered with with the tourists, sadly. But
most of them are Spanish.
Yeah, most of them were Spanish today. Yeah, rip all the cardboard. Yeah.
Welcome, Global Occupy News Network. Where we are is outside the House of the Parliament, where we've just been in the biggest committee room inside the House of the Parliament for about 2.5 hours, where we've been discussing the dreadful state of institutional pedo-sadism within the British establishment, and why it has been covered up for decades here, and why this cover-up must end today. We have MPs on our side, we have senior police officers on our side, we have all sorts of people, the whistleblowers, from various parts of the organisations that are determined that this must stop. Yes?
When you get afraid,
yeah.
He's got a lovely colour, isn't he?
Millie, there we go.
Hello, baby.
4-year-old little girl.
I had a little pitch for him.
Got
And he was...
a lovely little Jack Russell. Right, yes, it's been, there will surely be some fuller reports of what was said, etc. in the meeting. There wasn't any video, audio allowed, partly because of the rules of the House of Parliament themselves about independent recordings, and partly it gave survivors a chance to speak freely about their experiences without it being recorded. So it was pretty harrowing. I think one of the professionals said that some of the people having to deal with the victims of child abuse need counselling themselves, because just having to hear about it is distressing enough. So there are a good 400 people inside there. They're probably still milling around in the corridors, so although some of them will be planning to come back out here as they come out. There's Joe Public.
No, the blue sky and the white cloud and a little thing and a little hat as well. And I'm going to have my hair dyed blue with white clouds.
We've got lots of press here this time. When I did the first of these vigils at the site of the Elm Guest House, I was the only media. There was absolutely zero media interest. The second vigil at Islington had ITN turn up. And the third vigil here at Parliament has had lots of media turn up, has had the MPs themselves getting involved. We heard from John Mann, we heard from Peter Danzig. What I'll do is I'll get my order of service out, and that'll remind me a bit more about what I'm told. Right. Yep.
Was there any message, were there any sort of hands across the room to whistleblowers?
Oh yes, definitely. Whistleblowers are very important.
Were people? I mean, obviously we're not going. No way we were going to offer them preferential treatment. But what I'm saying is, there must be people who would like to clear the conscience.
Yes.
But get them, bring themselves to peace with their God, whatever.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, once we know about them, we can give them the support, even if they're put into prison and it's going to have to come to that. Now, Ben Fellows, who was imprisoned over Christmas, hundreds of us sent him cards
Good.
and sent
That's
money.
what has to happen,
and
yeah.
that's what happens. And these whistleblowers will be offered the same.
Yeah, Ben Fellows has been forbidden on his bail conditions for talking about the case, hasn't he? So he's been silenced by his bail conditions.
Well, yeah, but you see, I mean, you and I are standing here.
Yeah.
You could walk away and the policeman say, I believe you were talking about bombing the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
You say, don't talk so stupid, man.
Yeah.
Well, I have suspicions, so I'm nicking you on conspiracy.
Yeah.
You could be in Woburn Scrubs tonight for 12 months without even seeing a judge, whether he's straight or bent.
Bail. They used Melanie Shaw. They did the same. They trumped up a charge.
Money and
yes, Melanie Shaw, an abuse survivor. They trumped up an arson charge, completely untrue.
Of course.
And they had her on in prison before her trial for months.
Yeah.
Under terrible conditions.
Well, look at what's his name? He's supposed to go out to Scotland and do it here.
Yeah.
He's been under house arrest.
Yeah. Robert Green.
They actually, Scottish policemen took him from his house in England, a different jurisdiction, aided by the British police, taken off of the border.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is there no law and order?
Well, that's it. We don't have proper rule of law in this country. We have a corrupt system.
Yeah, also, we have to call on Magna Carta.
Yeah.
And you cannot deny, Winston Churchill said that in the past it's been used to great good.
Yeah.
And the lawful rebellion, I've withdrawn my oath to the treacherous queen that we have, and I've sworn my oath to the 25 barons who've informed the queen that she's treasonous, and I've sworn the oath to them. So hopefully I've recently had a stroke, so I won't be called to arms before I've recovered, because I couldn't wield my walking stick, let alone a sword. But I have got a healthy voice.
Yes.
And
what we need is people to call foul about this system rather than just pretending it's working.
Of course. Anyway, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Let me mum go too. I know
Right. Right. I am going to I got this guy about the Magna Carta who got the right. There's also something happening about half a mile from here. The Love activists have this soup kitchen in Trafalgar Square, so what I'm going to do is walk up Whitehall past the home of David Cameron, who has got an awful lot to answer for with all this, and go and see what's happening there. We need to get the whole country awake to the fact that our rule of law has been hopelessly subverted in this country. The fact that we allow these people to abuse children and other people to cover up for them means that so many other things are wrong with this country as well.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
You are aware that the EU...
The EU, oh yes, Hitler's dream come true,
well,
yes.
It was actually written up by the Nazis in 1936.
Yes.
Yeah, by the Nazi Party. It's actually on YouTube, all the details. I don't know when... and I do believe that Mrs. what's her name?
Merkel.
Merkel is the daughter of said Hitler.
Supposed to be about the right age.
But yeah, it has surfaced all the paperwork to the initial write-up to the EU.
Yeah.
It's all the part of the.
Well, it really suits them, isn't it? To have...
we are.
Yes.
We are definitely living in the.
Yes.
The Fourth Reich.
Yeah.
And it will go on to world domination if we don't stop it.
Yeah. Well, the EU loves to concentrate power, except when it doesn't suit the corporations. Have you heard just recently? They've said that individual countries can now decide whether or not to grow GM food, because it gives Monsanto more of a chance to pressure individual governments.
Yeah. Did you see Lord Blackstone before his death, before he was popped off?
No.
When he spoke about the EU having not put in any accounts for 18 years.
Oh no, of course not.
Now, a friend of his did a run up to, I think it was Geneva, to find the actual accountants who do the EU's accounts. And Mr. Novak, he gives the guy's name. He said, I give his name so that you can contact him in help. And he told me that yes, indeed, they are a they are illegal.
Of course they are.
What do you call it?
Cartel?
Cartel, whatever.
Yeah.
So he also went to MI5.
Yeah.
Filed all the paperwork appertaining to it, and nothing happened.
Of course not.
Oh,
they'll have lost
why.
it. They're good at losing paperwork, aren't they?
So what happened before he finished his stint at the EU? He went through it all again. He went back to Mr. Novak's and asked them about the account, and he said no, they still hadn't put in satisfactory accounts, so therefore they were still an illegal entity. So then Lord Blackstone said, so then can I assume then that the British government is conspiring, very interesting word, conspiring with an illegal entity by giving over many millions of their money every week. So they said, well, yes, I suppose so. So he then went back to MI5 and he got to speak with a high-ranking officer apparently, and he recounted what happened, and he said, have I been wasting my time? And the answer was no. So he said, so can I take it as read that you accept the EU is an illegal entity, a criminal entity? He said, yes. He said, so then can I understand that MI5, knowing all this information and to search for huge fraud like this, is going to do nothing about it? And then very shortly afterwards he died under very mysterious circumstances, which was a bit of a blow.
Yes, I've heard that the person that was supposed to be in charge of this Paris investigation committed suicide immediately.
What, he was actually shot himself in the head twice while he was filling out his report.
Oh.
Yes.
Twice?
Yeah. Well, you do. Then you do once and then you do it to make sure, you see. Yeah, it's very strange. Must have had a hair trigger, maybe two went off at once. But, I mean, that was, you know, how on earth can they expect to get away with it? They've played it so many times.
Yeah, it's just so obvious, isn't it?
I mean, the people were obviously trained, because even the hand signals were all silent hand signals that would be given by trained forces. How on earth did they get a bloody tank rocket propeller thing into the office? What do they bring it in a ski bag or something? Then they drove away in their car. And then
when the film of the policeman being shot, experts were saying that they were obviously firing blanks because there was no recoil on the rifle.
Yeah.
And then what is it?
Well, several military experts have said there is no way that you could be shot that close with an AK-47, and there not being pools of blood everywhere.
Yeah,
it would
your
be
head
impossible.
would just disintegrate.
Yeah.
So
It's just
what
a
do they think
complete
we are,
farce.
mad?
Yeah.
But what happened? They got the desired effect.
Yeah.
Idiots all in London, in countries everywhere, marching and marching about it. What should we do? So take away our weapons so that we can protect ourselves, and then when the UN come in, they can mow us all down.
Well, my theory about the French president calling for all those people on the streets is to get it out of them, because there ain't going to have any more marches, not with troops now protecting all the public spaces.
But
it's effective martial law in France now.
Yeah, well, Mr. Cameron, he went on a march with all these other highfalutin people. I mean, they can march through the street.
Yeah.
In support of people who wish to blaspheme about other religions, that they're demonstrating for that. I mean, how's that? I mean, my
and
God.
how can that all have been organised in 3 days flat?
Well, I don't know. They're very good.
Coordinating 40 world leaders to come to France.
Well, yeah, it's easy done. It's easy done.
How could they have ordered enough champagne and caviar to make do?
I don't know. It just travels around with them. They carry it around their pockets. I have to say, I was very impressed that Mr. Barack Obama, or Barry, he joined the... did you hear about him joining the Diners Club? The most exclusive one in the world, apparently. Yeah, I think it's $500 million just to get the card. That's without the meal. And you don't even get the first meal for free. So...
You've got to do something with your money, I suppose.
Well, yeah, but... things are going on at a pace out in the States. I mean, they're almost ready for the taking of the weapons, which is going to start off the biggest bloodbath that you've ever seen. But then they do have, 90,000 Russian troops. They got Chinese troops. They've got all sorts of troops training over there, already, because the American troops are not going to blow their own people away, are they?
No.
And that is why the Patriots are top of the list as enemies of the state, because they're going to fight back.
Yeah, I know.
Now they haven't
got very nasty in America very quickly, I think.
Now they don't have any opium poppies to patrol.
Yeah.
What they're going to do with them.
Yeah, well, that's why they wanted to start another war in Syria, isn't it? That's what this is all about.
But I think they're going about the best way, because what they're doing, they're giving the returning troops, they're going to see psychiatrists, and they're telling them that they're doolally, so thereby they're not allowed to have a weapons licence.
Yeah,
so
that's
they can't
excuse,
have
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah. But you can actually buy a crossbow that doesn't need a licence, and it would do just the same job, and very quietly. So but the preppers, I mean, we've got quite a lot of preppers in the UK, because I do believe that the doo-doo's going to hit the fan if this lot getting in May. The financial sector is just going to tank. Yeah, and we're going to be.
It's all just running on air anyway now.
Yeah.
My theory,
coasting to a stop, I think.
Well, my theory is that the falling oil prices is still the second system eating itself. Because the first it was interest rates at near zero since 2008, and that hasn't worked anymore. And now they're starting to reduce the oil price. They're just having to forgo that as a way to just keep people from revolting, from just rioting in the streets.
Tell me, young man, you do seem a very astute chap. Do you foresee in the foreseeable future that the Bank of England, or the Federal Bank as it were, will they be issuing a $5 million £5 million note?
No, that's
like they did in Germany before the crash?
I don't think we're going to go for an inflationary phase, because people like it's just not going to happen. It's just going to collapse. It'll just pop.
So I would suggest, if this is going out, mainstream, everybody go down to your local bank, borrow as much money as you possibly can, put it into things that are going to be useful rather than rubbish and
things.
Right? And then when the money system collapses in 3 months' time, they're not going to bother to send anybody round to collect the debts, because there'd be no such thing as money. So you'll win it, a winner all round. That is my advice for the week.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need a recipe?
Very good. Yeah.
Well, I think we did well there.
Yeah.
Got a few bits out in the open.
Yeah.
Right. Could you give me? Do you have a card?
I do, yes.
Because I've got to get in touch. Do you deal with UK Column at all?
I've heard of that. I've
heard
of them,
yeah, they broadcast every day, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've watched some of their stuff. There you go.
Yeah, well, we are what we're looking at. I mean, I'm not a politician, but somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? I've just had a stroke.
Yeah.
And what I'm prepared to do, if I can, is I come from Royal Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah.
So I will be, whatever the parties are going to be called, I will be the representative in Tunbridge Wells, and my pseudonym will be Disgusted of Tunbridge Wells.
Oh, that's very good.
Which is very good. You see, it's going to get people laughing.
Yeah, so you're going to be elected to put on the ticket as that.
And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge all of them, basically, to challenge me in the assembly halls or in the local park where thousands of people can see, and I'm going to, as a normal man, to try and fob me off with everything.
Yeah, we need to make this whole pedos in Westminster the main election issue. It's absolutely vital.
Yeah, of course.
Not the fake austerity or immigration or anything like that. The fact that we're allowing monsters in there to still abuse children, to rape and murder children.
Of course.
This is the main election issue. Everybody needs to make it the main election issue, and it's not just in the UK. We have this going on all over the world. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to my viewers for now. I will be back later with the Love Activists.